Welcome to my off-grid adventures. I'm Frank, and I'm glad you're here with me today as we winterize our RV. Now, I'm not referring to blowing out all of the water from the pipes. That's a technical winterization that I recently did but didn't record. And I didn't record it intentionally because the way I do it isn't how most people would do it, so I didn't think it would be of value. I don't have a black water tank that I use, at least, because I have a Laveo DryFlush toilet, and we never use the city water because we're only boondocking here at a permanent location with our RV. So the steps just didn't seem like they'd be that helpful unless you were in an identical situation as we are. But there are some other things that I have to do each year to get our RV ready for winter in Michigan. It gets very cold and snowy. One of the things that I do to take advantage of the space in the shower once we're not able to use it anymore is to fill it with these bins that I picked up from Home Depot. They're Husky bins. I'll put a link to it in the description, and it will fit 4 of them just perfectly, at least in our shower in our RV it does. And then I'll show you a few other things about how we get water when we don't have any source of water out here. How do we do that in the winter? And something else I'm excited that's going to happen in the next week is we're going to replace this canvas canopy with a metal one. So we're going to have a large 27-foot wide, 14-foot long metal canopy or awning or gazebo or whatever you want to call it that will keep this area more shaded, protected from the rain, regardless of whether it's windy or storming out. And in the winter, I'm going to section off parts of it with some tarps or maybe some other materials like canvas to just keep some of this deck area that we have from getting filled with snow. And that'll just give us a place to either brush off the snow, maybe just sit and relax without having to worry about dealing with it or shoveling it. And also I have a puppy here. My puppy Pumpkin is going to need to go out and go potty, so it'd be nice if there's a little grassy spot back here just behind the deck that she can use instead of always having to go out and get in the snow. So let's put these bins into the bathroom. I'll show you just how well those fit. And then I'll give you a few of our other tips for how we make winter work in Michigan in an RV boondocking without water, without any type of septic or power. Let's get going. This is the shower that we're going to fill with those totes, and it is a snug fit, but it does fit, and it worked really well last year. So let's get that set up. Then we can fill it and have more space throughout the RV. There are so many stink bugs on these. Eat those things. Ugh. Just have to get it in at an angle like that, and then it works. You just keep stacking them up. I remember that last year, this top one was the hardest. These were outside all summer, so that's why there's bugs and stuff on them. So this is what we have. And that's a lot of room. It's one of the only advantages to winter in Michigan in an RV. Can't use the sink. We can't use the shower. We can use our toilet because of the DryFlush toilet we have by Laveo. This has a foil in it that twists and has a vacuum, similar to a diaper genie, but for adults. I even have their mount for it, or their stand. It is a little too high though, but I'm going to try to make it work. Let's go look at a few of the other things that we've done in our RV to make it better for winter. This is definitely a favorite. We have a 5-gallon jug of water and one of these cheap $10 pumps that just runs off a rechargeable battery. And you just push that button and water comes out at a decent pace. And that helps a lot so that we can have access to a significant amount of water. We just take that and fill it occasionally, and it works really well. Another upgrade that I just did to prepare us for winter is replacing the RVLock.com locks with this, which is by RV Novus. And I had never heard of this company before. They clearly aren't as popular and as big as RVLock.com, but I do really like it so far. And what I like about it is that it has all metal construction, including all of this here. It has a really good grip there. It has the ability to lock both of the locks, the handle and the deadbolt, with the remotes or with the code. And it has all 10 digits, which I like, instead of just 0 or just 1 to 9. And the remote is really easy to use and doesn't accidentally get pressed when in my pocket. So I like that. I'm happy with it so far. I hope it holds up well. The reason I say this is a winter upgrade is because I don't like to have to stand out here in the snow and grab my keys or fiddle with the lock and take my hands out of my gloves in order to press the buttons and fight it. So this should help me get in and out easier. Plus it shuts a lot better. Everybody that we have over really struggles with shutting our door. I don't think they will with this one. For some reason it shuts a lot easier. This is one of the things that I did last year to prepare our RV for a better winter experience. I didn't want to always have to get up on the ladder and push snow off of the slide out. So I built this rudimentary lean-to here, and that's essentially what I'm having built on the front, except it'll be much, much larger. This was enough of a challenge for me to do, and I know I didn't do it right, but I got it done. It stayed up, it hasn't moved, it's worked great. But I want the same functionality and convenience of having that in the front as well. So that's about the best work I can do without any kind of a plan, and it works. But I'm looking forward to what the Amish builders will do. They're a lot better than I am at this stuff. In order to prepare for winter, I used my pole chainsaw to trim up these trees here quite a bit, and that's just so that those pine boughs don't get weighed down with snow and then drop on my head and shoulders and down my neck. And also so that it doesn't block the solar panels from getting some access to the sun. I've got a security camera up there that needs it, and then obviously this array here. So did a little bit of trimming, actually a lot of trimming, to have fewer incidents of snow falling down my neck. That's been a real treat. I haven't skirted my RV. That's one thing I've thought about doing and I might do in the future, but we have storage underneath of it that we want to access often, so I haven't yet been willing to do that, but I might. I had to make one other change recently, specifically to get us ready for winter in Michigan, and that was to get a different generator. I had so many experiences with generators and solar generators, but I think I'm happy now with what I have. I have the beast of a generator by Honda. It's the EU 7000 IS, and it's like 230 pounds or something like that without gas in it. But it has all the power I need to run the RV while also charging my batteries, which my EU 3000 IS couldn't do, and neither could the Champion. I think that one was a 4,000 watt system that couldn't do it either. So we're going to have to depend on gas a lot more in the winter in Michigan because we don't have as much sun, and it's just a necessity for when you're living off grid. And I'm glad to have it. I also like that generator because you can control it with a remote, and it's fuel injected, very efficient. I believe it's quieter than the EU 3000 IS that I had. It is very quiet, and I'm just very happy with it. I've had it a couple of weeks now, a few weeks I guess, and no issues at all so far. One thing that I haven't tried yet, but I'm excited to try, is charging the Tesla with that generator, because it can charge at 240 volts, watts, whatever that is, which means high-speed charging. Something else I did to prepare for winter was I just built this ledge. I don't know what you'd call it exactly. It is actually secured to the spot that it's in. It doesn't look like it, but it is locked in from underneath. And it just protects the wiring and various things that are underneath that go into the RV. And because of having had a fire in this pass-through compartment, I just wanted to make sure there was no chance of anything shorting out any wires because of weather. So I just did that with a simple 5-foot 2x12s. There's 2 of them, and then 1 2x4, and that worked quite well. I have a video from last year about how I got my RV ready for winter by putting Reflectix insulation in each of the windows. And I'm going to hold off on that as long as I can because it obstructs my view of our beautiful 60 acres here. So I don't feel the need to have that just yet, but that will be one last step that we take for making this more comfortable in the winter. That's the view that I don't want to give up. I love it. Such a beautiful piece of God's creation out here. If you boondock in Michigan or in any cold climate and you have some tips for how you can make the best of the cold weather and be comfortable, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas and thoughts. Well, thank you again for watching. If you'd like to see more content about living off-grid in Michigan, please subscribe. We'd love to have you join us. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.